All right. Scorpios, welcome back. All right, Scorpios, let's take a look at whatever is kind of being held deep inside. I always look at the temple as the space inside of us, and we have truth. Scorpio, we have the best and shortest roads toward knowledge of truth is nature. This may be more about the true nature of Scorpio. So, whatever is the essence of who they are, first off, there's a strong sense of like freedom, a strong sense of like someone who has a great sharp eyed vision, somebody who likes to pay close attention. Oh, and the truth is, if they're hunting for something and they're not finding it, they can shut it down and move on. This 10 of Swords is a painful ending, but the truth is, maybe Scorpio's like, yeah, but it had to end. You know, I can't cling to stuff that isn't working for me. I'm not like that. I'm not able to lie to myself. I'm too truthful. I know when something doesn't click. And we've got this Queen of Cups upright. There's Scorpio all day. Dwayne Anderson, great to catch you, love. The fact that we have this energy of Scorpio being in their very warm and wonderful and protected energy field. Again, we've got like eagles here. We've got hawk over here. We've got the Eye of Horus really visible here. So a lot of protection coming from that Eye of Horus. I feel like there is there is something that has ended, but it was Scorpio who ended it, and they ended it for all the right reason. And it's because I can't fake my way through something. I can't pretend that I'm happy when I'm not. I don't want to do that to myself. It's just not the way I'm made. Nine of Wands is upright. And this is Scorpio saying, and trust me, I'll be all right. You know, I ended something because it needed to end. I'll be all right. In fact, this was an act of me loving myself to be able to put an end to something that was stressing me out, that was hurting my feelings, that was hurting my energy. And almost immediately, Scorpio is feeling a sense of relief. And the truth is, like, that is their confirmation that they made the right decision. I've never seen a character so sure that they were going to be all right. More than that, we have the 10 of Cups. I feel like whatever Scorpio was involved with, which could have been a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but whatever or whomever they were involved with, it was, they knew that it wasn't working. And they knew that to actually have the great happiness that they want to have and intend to have in their life, they were going to have to let go of this painful cycle. We have two cycles, like these are monumental shifts in Scorpio's life. But this isn't really tough waters for Scorpio to navigate because they operate only in the truth. They don't pretend to themselves. Got a Two of Cups on the horizon here. That 10 of Cups, that Two of Cups, this is the great happiness. This is the kind of relationship Scorpio is fully believing is out there for them. Let me take a look at what was the 10 of Swords. What was it that Scorpio had to walk away from? An injustice. We have possibly a Libra that they had to turn away from, somebody who was not treating Scorpio well, somebody or something that wasn't really in their greatest and highest good. And as much as Scorpio might have wished that, like, if only I could stay, if only I could imagine that this isn't that bad, if only, but I can't. I just can't. I can't tolerate stuff that I know isn't working. It would be unfair to me. It would be unfair to them. If they're stressing me out and making me feel, not like myself, then I definitely need to go. I gotta say, the act of Scorpio, I do think Scorpio left somebody behind. I think Scorpio ended a relationship, possibly with the masculine, and they could have been acting shocked, even though I feel like Scorpio was really stressed about leaving this connection. And either Scorpio says, I don't want to be the bad guy and walk away from somebody when it's going to feel like I'm pulling the rug out from under them, but I'm not in love with them, so I have to set them free to go match with somebody who will love them in a way that I'm unable to, because honestly, my person is somewhere else up ahead. Or this is somebody who didn't treat Scorpio well, but they thought Scorpio would stay forever anyway. And Scorpio's like, nah, I love myself too much. I'm out. And they might just now be having that come into Jesus moment where they're like, damn, Scorpio really won't tolerate the way I was behaving. I don't know which it is. I feel 50-50 split on this. Just because of that card of truth, We definitely see Scorpio can walk away from someone if they feel like, I'm doing you wrong. You're a great person, but I'm not in love with you the way I need to be to stay with you. So as much as it stresses me out to end things with you because you didn't do anything wrong. It's just, I know my future is somewhere else. Scorpio would have, the compassion and the strength to be able to say that to somebody. We have a Four of Cups upright. That Four of Cups is, there is a bummer, there is a regret, there is a missed opportunity here, or there is an illusion. It's weird to see that come up in the midst of this because it feels like we had a mismatched partnership that it's like, I wish that it hadn't gone this way. It could be that Scorpio wishes, like, why couldn't, there was 90% of what was good between us was great, but that 10% that was missing, the 10% that was causing me great grief, that's the thing that makes me unable to stay. There is like, I wish things were different kind of vibe on this, but on this storyline for this fictional character, this Scorpio is moving onward in life because that's where they feel like they have to go. They think that their future is up ahead. Let's get another card here on that Nine of Wands, the I will heal. We have a Four of Wands sideways. Again, this is a Scorpio looking toward their future and saying, this could be a same-sex couple. This could be that a Scorpio walked away from a masculine, realizing that they're actually more drawn to the feminine. Doesn't have to be, but we do happen to have a same-sex couple on that card. But the idea of, no, I know that my happiness is elsewhere. I know that that's why I can heal more swiftly from this, because I know what I'm looking for is very, very, very different than what I had. So let's take another look at that Ten of Cups. We have a Page of Wands. This is a Scorpio who's talking about, like, again, I know that I'll heal, and I'm already like gravitating toward, being excited about wanting to move toward, great love, true love. I can feel that I'm on the right path. Look, this relationship had to end. And I think, even though it's like, it's too bad that it couldn't have been a relationship that could have worked, but the fact that it couldn't, that's why I can move on, and I'm actually excited. We're seeing these little thrills of excitement as Scorpio moves forward. It doesn't even look like they carry any wounds from the past. I got to go back to that Ten of Swords for just a minute. Yeah, Strength card. This has taken Scorpio, whether Scorpio is a masculine or a feminine does not matter, but Scorpio has had to have a lot of strength in order to move on from this, because I do think this would have been very painful, but it was more painful to stay than to move on. That's what we see. Tell me about the Two of Cups. We have the Magician. All right. So Scorpios, I'm going to say, correct actions in their own life are giving them back their power. They're able to envision what they want. They're able to create it. They're kind of like in their I'll say, energetic laboratory, excited. I picture this as somebody who's like listening to music, enjoying themselves, thinking about the upcoming partnership that they will have, thinking about what kind of partnership really matches well with them. There could be a Virgo or Gemini on the horizon for Scorpio, but they are very clear on one thing, which is my true love, or the person I'm meant to be with, that I'm going to meet them. They're still up ahead from me. And I'm actively, right now, Scorpio is showing up in a masculine energy. They were a feminine before. Now we see them as a masculine, but this is somebody who's like really happy. This is not a tragic, oh my God, this person treated me so bad, I had to cut them out of my life, now I have to heal. That is not what the story is. This person that they broke it off with might have been treating them poorly, but Scorpio was like, yeah, that's why I had to end it. And even if they're a good person, I still wasn't getting what I needed. They have their flaws. I know I have mine, but I don't want to stick around with the wrong person. So as hard as it was, I did break it off. And now I'm actually thrilled. Like, I'm excited about looking toward my future. That's what I see on this one. Hi, Slate Princess. Great to see you, love. We have the Empress upright. This is like the next person I think that Scorpio is calling into their life is going to be long-term commitment material, that Empress. Can we just look back at, just for a moment, I'm just curious, the person that Scorpio is walking away from, they're going through the Tower. And I just want to see, is that chapter of life, like, did they learn something from having dealt with Scorpio? King of Cups. I don't know that they treated Scorpio like the partner that they should have when they had a chance with Scorpio. Man, they sure know what they should have done now that Scorpio's gone. Okay. Because once upon a time, it's like King and Queen of Cups. They realize that this is it. Scorpio wants to be with the King of Cups. And I don't see that they realized the components that were missing until Scorpio maybe either pointed it out and said, and by the way, we're done. So this is the Tower drop moment for them. Maybe they weren't very emotionally available. Maybe they weren't that supportive. Maybe they were chasing other things instead of just being, committed to this emotional bond. But that is what ultimately led them to losing Scorpio. And I don't think Scorpio was like, you need to do this for me. I deserve this. I don't think Scorpio did any of that. I think Scorpio was like, okay, this is stressing me out. They're not opening up, or they're not giving me the bond that I want to have. And I think Scorpio just decided in their own mind, I'm not going to scold them, yell at them, none of that. I'm realizing that they're not my person because they didn't step into the King of Cups energy and match me. So if they don't match me with that bond, with that emotional, openness and bond, then I don't need to tell them that that's what they need to do to keep me. They get to be whoever they are. It's me who needs to move on so I can meet the person who's right for me. And I think Scorpio making that choice for themselves, you notice how, I would say it's pretty awesome that they didn't try to force somebody else to like, you need to do this to meet my needs. Scorpio's like, this is who they are, and it's not working for me. They don't need to change a thing. I need to move on. And I really think that Scorpio taking that approach was them like just being empowered enough to live and let everybody live their truth. Scorpio knows what their truth is. Someone else's truth is not going to match up, and that's okay. And that's why Scorpio's not moving on heartbroken. They're actually saying, I'm making the right choice. I'm letting go of the wrong person so I can connect to the right person. And now I'm thrilled because I'm ready to call in the right person. It feels like probably like one of the most mature ways to just accept people right where they are and not try to mold them into somebody else so then they can please us, but rather let them be who they are and then ask ourselves, does this work? And if the answer is no, then, let it be. It takes a lot of self-control, I think, to do that, but well done, Scorpio. Hi, Calm Seas. I got the 9 of Cups. There is a really strong sense of, oh my God, I'm so excited about what my next chapter holds. This feels like a recently single Scorpio in this story who is actually feeling no sorrow. It was harder to stay in something than it was to walk away. And now their happiness and their excitement at what their next chapter is going to be. They're looking toward the stars. They're looking at the world. They haven't met the next person yet. They're in the process of still kind of like learning how to tell the universe what they're ready for and what kind of person they want to match with and, what they're welcoming into their life. Page of Cups. They're very much getting ready to welcome in love. But again, they want to experience the entirety of it, like meet somebody new, start to get to know them. Yes, sometimes we do start out with rose-colored glasses on, but I feel like Scorpio is aware that they are learning how to attract the kind of person that they want, but then they still want to take it slow and unveil who that person is and get to know them nice and slow and easy. This feels like there's no breakneck tempo to go find the 2 of Cups, but more like this certainty that I know that there's a great match out there for me, and I'm going to enjoy the process of meeting people, interviewing for that position, and finding the person who really truly matches me. Does Scorpio end up finding this sometime in the not too distant future? This just feels so comfortable. Wow. Knight of Cups. Why, yes, they do. Scorpio may have great legs, or they've got a real handsome profile, whatever it is, Scorpio has probably never looked more alluring, more attractive. This is a Scorpio who's out on the prowl, okay? In the sense that they are single in body, mind, and spirit. They are very positive in the concept that I know there's somebody amazing out there for me. And I think that whomever they choose to date, whomever they are drawn to, they're going to treat that person so well. And I feel like that is exactly the way this person is going to treat them in return. It's going to be this really like, well, obviously we've got like awesome public displays of affection, like two people that are saying, look, I don't care who else is around us. I'm here for you. You're here for me. We're enjoying each other's company. I feel like there's a little bit of like getting love drunk on each other, just a little bit. Come see. Thank you, Angel. You are so sweet. Thank you. You're so generous. Dwayne, that's awesome. It's a smaller group on our Scorpios when I go live on these ones for sure. It makes you guys that much more close to my heart, that much more treasured. The fact that we do have a smaller group. There's only like 89 of us in the room right now. So thank you, Scorpios, for tuning in. But this energy of like really beautiful bond and romance and leaning into truly soaking up each other's energy and getting to know each other, that's what Scorpio wants. And we can tell that must have been a far cry from what Scorpio had in the past, right? The person that Scorpio is walking away from seems to have been someone that was not emotionally available, someone who's only realizing after Scorpio's already left, this is who they needed to be if they were going to get a chance to be with Scorpio. This is who they wanted. Scorpio wanted someone that was very emotionally available, somebody that was more, touchy, more handsy, more, supportive, more cuddly. Somebody who I feel like Scorpio, that you can like sense the warmth and the closeness on this card, right? You can tell that like Scorpio and this person will have their own little, the little language stuff that we share with somebody else, like the insider jokes and the, little teeny tiny, you walk in and maybe you instead of holding full hands, you might just, brush pinkies. And it's like, but that's something that, your partner is saying that they're right beside you. That kind of like little subtle connection, that's what Scorpio is going to have with this next person. And I don't think it's going to be long before Scorpio meets that person because of the way they're exuding. They're single, they're warm, they're welcoming, they're loving, and they're ready to connect with somebody. They may meet somebody with dark hair. There's just a lot of dark-haired beauties going on, masculines and feminines on this. So whether this is like really gorgeous black hair, brown hair, or somebody has dyed their hair, there could just be some very, I don't know, these two look great together, right? Scorpio and this person are going to look like a really lovely match. Maybe they'll have the same color hair, or maybe there's just an element of the way they work, the way they move, the way they talk is life for sure. All right, you guys. Take care. Great to see everyone. Bye for now.